Albert Einstein said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Napoleon Bonaparte said, the battlefield is a scene of constant chaos. The winner will be the one who controls that chaos, both his own and the enemies. Hello, I am Juan Navarro. This is Advanced Quality Programs, and I invite you to explore the philosophies of quality to apply that in our lives. Today we are going to talk about how we confirm the effectiveness of the actions. The objective on this step is to conclude the implementation of the action plan, documenting all the results and confirming the effectiveness of all actions. We also said that we need to keep track of the results of each action to confirm whether it's effective or not. This is when in the industry we implement process control charts, and based on the graphs we identify patterns and trends, making the use of statistics to predict the behaviors of our system. But as we said in previous editions, the most important thing is to measure our results in a repeatable and reproducible way. We do not necessarily need advanced statistical methods. If you are from the old school, you only need pen and paper, and if you are more at high tech, what you need is to keep your records on your smartphone, and that will be it. It might sound redundant, but when we created an action plan in the previous step, we set priorities and dates, and for this to work, the actions must be carried out. An action plan that is not executed becomes a wish list, a list of good intentions. Improvement and any transformation are achieved only through direct and decisive action in motion. Do not be like that candidate who in campaign makes his list of promises, and after a few years of having assumed the office, he still does not act and wonders why things have not changed, and people get upset with him. You will see that while you fulfill your action plan and record your results, you will easily notice which actions are beneficial and which are not. Your records will tell you, based on facts and data, your progress, motivating you with each small victory. This will also indicate which actions you can eliminate automatically. This is a good time to start laying the ground for the future and create a collection of lessons we have learned, sorting the effects of our actions, and arrange them according to their effectiveness to help to find possible corrective and preventive actions each time we repeat this cycle. We need to introduce for this aim a new concept, the concept of failure, which is defined in the industry as the way in which a product or process can affect the compliance with the specifications, affecting our customer, collaborators, or the next processes. What we have called so far undesirable effects. For a strategy, we need to consider whether failures have an impact on our product or process. This means that we are going to decide between two categories, process or products. When it comes to processes, it will serve as a tool to detect situations that happen along the process to help you to prevent the effects that could generate in the product or other processes. When it comes to the product, it will serve you as a tool to detect possible failures in the design to help you to prevent the effects on the user. Once we have this list with a collection of failures and the effects that your actions have demonstrated to bring into our system, normally in the industry, these are rated into the severity and the effects and probability of this happening again, to establish the controls that prevent this type of failure in the future. These lists will be known as FMEA, Failure Mode and Effect Analysis. And FMEA is help to prevent the reoccurrence of failures from a concept known as risk priority number, RPN, where the actions we take are assigned a value based on severity, detection, and occurrence in the list. When RPN is higher than a certain value, this will clearly indicate that prevention or correction actions are to be implemented to avoid the occurrence of failures as a priority. However, the overall goal is to have a record of all failures we know of. Soon we will talk more in detail about the FMEA, how it is built and how it lives. Just let me tell you that we all make FMEAs daily in our heads without realizing it, and when you know the system, you can easily apply it without the need of many tangles, bringing order to your chaos. I hope you had already realized that what the path of quality is all about. It's identifying patterns and trends to prevent undesirable effects and maximizing your potential. And you do not need knowledge of advanced statistics, engineering, or design of experiments to find success in this path. Let me use an example from football to finish explaining this step. Penalties are essential part of football, capable of crowning mediocre players and subduing great figures like Roberto Baggio. Many describe penalties as a lucky roulette, but like any other human behavior, psychological and physical factors will play an essential role. Time stands still, two players face each other 11 meters apart, and the victory or failure of their team will depend on them. What variables are involved? First, the striker. Does the pressure of the championship play a role? The pressure of winning or losing, having the teams win or lose on his feet, often takes a toll on the players, even when the best players in the World Championship are the best of the best. Only 40% of them get the final shot right. And what about the goalkeepers? The penalties are not only kicking but also blocking. So you must also pay attention to the goalkeeper. What makes a goalkeeper like Manuel Neuer a standout? Statistically, 30% of the penalties are kicked to the center of the goal, but only 3% of the goalkeepers decide to stay still. If the team had these statistics, why don't they decide to stand still more often? First, because doing something is better than doing nothing. Acting is the norm, so a goal scored produces worse feelings for a goalkeeper who remains in the center. And this is where the game theory and quality meet. For an individual to succeed, he must consider his strategy, the decisions that his counterpart can make. If a goalkeeper stands to prefer to stand still, he can succeed at first, but in the long run, his opponents will start recording that experience and start shooting to the side. They identify the pattern and they use that to win. A goalkeeper like Neuer becomes a perfect pattern reader. The look of the striker, the position, the standing, all these are signs that a goalkeeper will identify in seconds before the foot touches the ball, and in matter of milliseconds he decides whether to launch or not. He has a mental record of hours of training reading these patterns that will enable him to understand and make a conscious decision in a matter of milliseconds to succeed and take that win. As penalties, the only thing that will help you to succeed in reading and identifying patterns is the experience and applying these philosophies and actions continuously and consistently until such time becomes that you are able to make the conscious decision in a matter of milliseconds. Your challenge this week is to review your list of actions and identify among all of them those that generate a repetitive or similar result. To talk about patterns and trends, our next edition. This was all for this week. I will appreciate your comments, and if you like the video, hit like. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and I leave you with a quote from Let Me Kill Myself. born to lose, live to win. Do not forget to hit the bell and see you next week.